Hello, everyone, and welcome to Story Orbit N, the podcast where English learners join us for debates, laughs, and lots of useful words and expressions. My name is Jessica, and I am delighted to be here today.
And my name is Tom, and I am even more delighted, although I know Jessica will probably fight me on everything I say, which is basically the point of this show.
That is not true, Tom. Sometimes I agree with you.
Really? When exactly?
Well, let me think. Oh, yes. Remember when you said that ice cream should be eaten even in winter? I totally agree with you on that.
Oh, right. The one sensible statement of my life.
See, I support you sometimes. Anyway, let's jump into today's topic. We have two debates ready. Debate 1, do you prefer reading books in paper format or in electronic format? I am completely on the paper side.
And I am proudly representing the electronic side. Long live the e-reader.
Then we have debate 2, do you prefer going to libraries or buying books? I am definitely team library.
And I am team buy, especially buying electronic books.
All right, let's get this started. Debate 1, paper books versus electronic books. Tom, go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. I love electronic books because of portability. That is a good word for our listeners. Portability. It means something is easy to carry. For example, laptops have more portability than desktop computers. An e-reader is portable. You can put it in your pocket and it contains thousands of books.
But you need electricity and a charger. With paper, there is no battery problem. A paper book is always ready.
True, but batteries today last a long time. And if it runs out, you just recharge. The benefits are huge. You can highlight text, search for words, adjust the font size.
Still, the feeling is different. When I turn a page, I hear the paper, I feel the weight of the book, and even the smell of the pages makes me happy. By the way, turn a page is also used as a metaphor in English. If you turn a page in life, it means you start a new chapter, a new phase. For example, after moving to a new city, she turned the page and started fresh.
Nice example. But Jessica, honestly, who cares about smell?
Many people do. The smell of books connects you to the past. That word connect is important too. It means to join or to feel linked to something. For example, I connect with my grandmother when she tells me stories. Reading paper books makes me feel connected to history and tradition.
Well, ebooks connect me to the future.
Tom, that sounds dramatic.
But it is true. Another cool thing is vocabulary help. If I find a difficult word like meticulous, I can press it and get a definition. By the way, meticulous means very careful and detailed. For example, she was meticulous when cleaning her house, not leaving a single corner dirty. That is something a paper book cannot give me instantly.
Maybe not instantly, but with a paper dictionary, you learn discipline. By the way, discipline means training yourself to behave or act in a controlled way. For example, studying every day requires discipline. Using a dictionary teaches you patience and discipline.
Patience is overrated, Jessica.
No, patience is essential, Tom.
I will give you another argument. Ebooks can store thousands of books. Imagine traveling. If you want to take 5 books on a trip, your suitcase becomes heavy. With an e-reader, it is the same weight whether you carry 1 book or 1,000.
True, but heavy books are good exercise. Carrying them makes your muscles stronger.
That is not reading. That is weightlifting.
Maybe reading should be a workout too.
Speaking of workouts, let's teach the phrasal verb work out. It has 2 meanings. One is exercising, for example. I work out 3 times a week at the gym. The other meaning is solving a problem, for example. We need to work out this math question. Phrasal verbs like this are everywhere in English.
Yes, and paper books let you mark them with sticky notes, make drawings, even doodles. You can personalize your book. Try doodling on your Kindle and see what happens.
It will break. But with ebooks, you can make notes digitally and they are saved forever. And you can search them instantly.
You and your instant gratification. That is another good phrase, instant gratification. It means getting what you want immediately without waiting. For example, eating fast food gives instant gratification but is not healthy. Reading is supposed to be slow and reflective, not instant.
Okay, maybe. But still, ebooks. Let me change font size, highlight, and carry the Oxford Dictionary with me. You cannot compete with that.
but I can compete with magic. Libraries and paper books are magical. Do you remember your first book as a child?
Hmm. I think it was The Hobbit.
And was it on paper or electronic?
Paper. But that was before e-readers existed.
Exactly my point. Childhood memories are built on paper.
Fine. But adulthood memories are built on Wi-Fi.
Terrible line, Tom.
All right. Let's call debate. Want to draw? Can we move to debate 2?
Wait, Tom, before we move on, there's another thing I really need to say. I work with screens all day. My computer, my phone, even the television in the evening. Reading an electronic book does not let your eyes rest from screens, and that is super important nowadays.
I get that. But let me say this. With electronic books, you do not need physical space to put them. Think about it. Bookshelves, boxes, piles everywhere. Sometimes we do not want to clutter our houses. That word clutter is good to learn. It means a messy collection of things. For example, her desk was full of clutter, with papers and pens everywhere.
True, clutter is annoying. But here's the beauty of paper books, Tom. When I take a book with me into nature, like into the park or the countryside, I do not have the temptation of internet or notifications. With a real book, it is just me and the pages, no distractions.
That word distraction means something that takes away your attention. For example, the noise outside was a distraction while I was studying. And in English, we often use the verb distract. For example, stop distracting me, I am trying to focus.
True. Paper books help me focus.
That is a strong point. But come on, notifications are easy to manage, you can just turn them off.
Can you, though? Be honest, how many times have you said, I will only read for 10 minutes, and then suddenly you are checking your email, your messages, or social media? That is the risk. With electronic devices, they pull you away.
Okay, guilty. You are right, sometimes I say I am reading, but then I check sports scores.
Exactly. Paper books are like a safe zone. Once you open it, there is nothing else. No digital world calling your name. It is just you, your imagination, and silence.
And maybe also a heavy backpack if you carry too many.
Maybe, but I will take the backpack over constant notifications. All right, debate 2. Libraries or buying books? I vote libraries.
I vote buying books, especially ebooks.
Libraries are free. That is the key. Free here has two meanings, no money and also freedom. For example, water is free in the park, means no money. But she feels free when she sings, means without restrictions. Libraries give both.
But when you buy, the book is yours forever. You own it. Own means something belongs to you. For example, I own a bicycle.
But libraries are about sharing. Share means giving something to others so everyone can use it. For example, she shared her lunch with her friend. Libraries are communities of sharing.
I like my own stuff.
That sounds selfish, Tom.
Maybe, but it is practical.
Practical is not always better. In a library, you can explore shelves, discover surprises. By the way, shelf is the flat board where books are placed. The plural is shelves. For example, the library has 3 shelves of history books.
But libraries take time. You need to walk there, wait in line, and return the books. Buying online is immediate.
And that is the problem. Everything in life should not be immediate. Remember the expression, good things take time. Libraries teach that.
But if I want to read at 2 a.m., the library is closed. Buying online is open 24 hours.
Maybe you should sleep at 2 a.m. instead of buying books.
Fair enough, but here is another thing. When I buy ebooks, they do not take physical space. I do not need extra shelves or boxes.
But space filled with books is beautiful. A wall full of books is like art.
A wall full of books is like dust.
Oh, come on. You are hopeless.
By the way, let's explain that expression. Oh, come on. It is very informal, and you use it to show disbelief or when you think someone is being unreasonable. For example, oh, come on, you can't be serious. It adds emotion and keeps the conversation lively.
Exactly, and I am serious. Also, Tom, your argument is weak. If you take books from the library, you do not take up space in your house. You borrow them, you enjoy them, and then you return them. So your space problem does not exist.
I see your point. Borrowing from the library means no clutter, no boxes, no shelves needed.
Right. And let's explain the verb to borrow. It means to take something from someone for a short time with the plan to return it later. For example, can I borrow your pen? You asked to use it temporarily.
On the other hand, to lend means to give something to someone for a short period, expecting it to be returned. For example, I can lend you my pen. You offer it to them, and they will give it back after use.
Many people mix these two up, but the key difference is who is giving and who is taking. With libraries, you borrow, you enjoy, and you keep your home free of clutter.
Unless you forget to return the books, then your house fills with library clutter.
That is not clutter, that is theft.
Okay, guilty again.
And some people collect library cards. I have 5 from different cities.
Of course you do, Jessica.
Libraries are also more than just about books. They offer programs, workshops, and events that you can't get when you buy a book. For example, they have story time for kids, book clubs, author readings, and even free classes on things like computer skills or resume writing. It's not just about reading. Libraries are community hubs. They bring people together.
Well, you can get a lot of that stuff online too. Webinars, online book clubs, and even virtual author events are all available. The internet is filled with resources, so I don't really see how libraries have a monopoly on that.
Sure, the internet is great, but you can't replace the atmosphere of a library, the smell of the books, the quiet, the sense of being surrounded by knowledge. It's almost like an experience in itself. And don't forget the librarians. They're experts who can help you find exactly what you need. When was the last time a website helped you find a hidden gem of a book?
All right, I'll give you the atmosphere, but that doesn't make up for the fact that buying a book means I can read it whenever I want. I don't have to worry about returning it late or missing out on a popular book because someone else already has it checked out.
Well, that's the beauty of libraries. They have systems to make sure everyone gets a turn. Plus, you can usually put a book on hold and pick it up when it's available. And let's not forget, libraries have a massive variety, more than most personal collections. Even if you buy every book you want, you'll never run out of new titles to explore.
True, but you still have to wait for those books to come in. When you buy, you're instantly satisfied. No waiting, no holds, no disappointment if the book is already checked out. You get to own it and access it anytime you want.
Yeah, but do you really need to own every book you read? A lot of people only read a book once or twice and then never pick it up again. When you borrow, you're not weighed down by things you don't need or won't use. Plus, you can access books from all over the world without worrying about storage or space.
But there's something special about owning a book. It's like having a collection, something you can go back to. It's comforting. You have your favorites, your go-to books that you can always turn to for inspiration or just for a quick escape.
I understand that, but let's be real. Owning a book can be expensive. The cost adds up, especially if you're someone who loves to read a lot. With a library card, you get access to thousands of books for free. You don't have to worry about whether or not you'll be able to afford that next bestseller. Libraries make reading accessible to everyone, no matter their budget.
True, but buying an ebook is a one-time purchase. And if it's an e-reader, it's convenient because you can have hundreds of books on one device. You can read anywhere, on the bus, at the beach, or in bed. It's portable, and it doesn't require the same amount of physical space that a bookshelf does.
Fair point about portability, but there's something tangible about holding a physical book. The weight of it in your hands, the feel of turning pages, it's an experience. Reading on a screen just doesn't compare. Plus, there's no battery life to worry about with physical books. You don't have to worry about your Kindle dying in the middle of your chapter.
I see where you're coming from, but I think we just value different aspects of reading. You love the library experience, and I love the convenience of buying. At the end of the day, we're both passionate about reading, just in different ways.
Exactly. And that's why libraries will always have a place in my heart. They're not just about books, they're about giving people access to knowledge, supporting communities, and encouraging the love of reading. In the end, we're on the same team. We want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to read, learn, and grow.
Well, Jessica, I think we have reached the end of our debates today. We did not completely agree, but we did share many arguments, and more importantly, we learned a lot of new English words and expressions.
Yes, and as always, let's give our listeners a quick summary of the vocabulary and phrases we explained today. That way, they can review and remember.
All right, first we had portability. That means easy to carry, like laptops compared to desktop computers. Then we explained turn a page. Literally, it means moving to the next sheet of a book, but metaphorically, it means starting a new chapter in life.
After that, we talked about connect. It means to join or to feel linked to something or someone. And of course, meticulous, which means very careful and detailed.
Then we had discipline. That is training yourself to behave or act in a controlled way, like studying every day. Next came the phrasal verb work out. It can mean exercising or solving a problem depending on the context.
Yes, and we also explained instant gratification. That is getting what you want immediately without waiting. And don't forget clutter. That means a messy collection of things. We said a desk full of papers is cluttered.
We also explained distraction, something that takes your attention away, and the verb distract, to pull attention away from someone.
Then we explained borrow and lend. Borrow means to take something temporarily, and lend means to give something temporarily. Easy to confuse, but very important.
We also gave shelf and shelves. A shelf is one flat board, and shelves is the plural.
And we added the phrase, oh, come on, which is informal English used to show disbelief or when you think someone is being unreasonable.
Finally, we had free. We showed how it has two meanings, no money and also freedom.
Perfect review. That is a long list of useful expressions.
And now the final question. Jessica, after all this, are you still team paper and team library?
Absolutely. Paper books and libraries forever.
And I am still team electronic and team buy. I guess we will never agree.
But that is the fun of it. Listeners, the real question is, what do you prefer? Think about it in English and maybe practice by writing a short paragraph using some of the new vocabulary from today in the comments down below.
Great idea. That way you can work out your English skills and no gym required.
Thank you all for listening to Story Orbit N, where we debate, laugh, and learn English together. Bye, everyone!
We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we will see you next time with more fun arguments and more English to explore. Goodbye!